Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tips Appreciated. Today we're going to be talking about one of our favorite drinks, bubble tea.
Or boba, yes.
Oh,
Super excited for this episode. I think that there's so many names for it. You might have heard boba, pearl milk tea, boba milk tea, boba tea. To go more on the Chinese side, naicha, or
hmm
tapioca, the other words, or the one I always have trouble with is the QQ, which means what, like chewy or something in
I
Chinese.
guess so. I don't think
Okay,
we really use it here in
no,
North
I just
America.
I just asked for a boba, and we're pretty good. So,
hmm
yeah, tell our listeners what
Oh,
boba is exactly.
so bubble tea,
Oh,
well, this is
okay.
why like how I say it. It's a refreshing and sweet drink with tapioca balls or pearls like on the bottom. So if our listeners don't know what tapioca pearls are, it's like shaped like a ball, right? And it's like chewy and sweet. Like some people don't really like the texture of it because it is unique. Like I could admit I'm not a huge fan of tapioca balls. The only time I'll like eat it is if it's actually cooked properly. So it's not
Yeah,
hard or too soft and if it has a taste. Because a lot of tapioca is like kind of tasteless and you're just chewing on like a
yeah.
chewy ball. So yeah, like the only place I actually enjoy tapioca or ordering tapioca is Boba Guys. So they're quite serious about creating their own boba or tapioca that they have their own factory in the States and they have it close by to like their main headquarters to keep, maintain that quality and keeping close to that process of like creating it. So it's props on them for actually making their own tapioca, so it's like fresh and tasty. But I don't know if you know, Eddie, but bubble tea became a thing in like the late 80s
Oh,
in I think Taipei, in a city in Taiwan. But I know in Taiwan they take bubble tea seriously. So other cities are trying to claim like, no, we created bubble tea, not you.
yeah.
But yeah, so Taiwan is actually known for their traditional tea houses, and it's like a what was it? It's I guess it's an industry that started off like back in the day, and then early Chinese settlement time, like in the 17th century. So tea houses in Taiwan were originally brought by Chinese immigrants. These like tea houses actually focus on the quality of
Yeah.
teas and like or the leaves, sorry. Quality of the tea leaves. They care about the water, like how hot that boiling water is, and even their serving utensils. They're actually like they pay attention to like every little detail in like their ritual of like how they serve tea. So customers and a lot of people are actually willing to pay that price for that high quality because for us it's like I don't know, I buy a tea bag and I'm like satisfied. So I've never tasted a super expensive tea in a fancy tea house before. I don't know if you have, Eddie, but for
I
myself, I could say no.
Yeah, the fanciest tea I think I've tasted is from like David's tea or something. I don't know if
Okay.
that's fancy,
No,
but whatever. It tastes pretty good.
yeah, it
So
tastes good, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll go to a fancy tea house
try
like to
to
try.
see what the right process is and the right
Mm-hmm.
temperature, all those things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool when we started looking into this. So as you can tell already, we're huge fans of bubble tea
Mm-hmm.
and boba. So we actually hired a researcher because we're so interested in this in the history
Mm-hmm.
behind it. As much as the process, it's so meticulous as you
Mm-hmm.
just described, right, around the tea, the temperature, the water, all those things. How it was actually discovered in putting like the tapioca balls with the tea was almost by accident. So
Oh.
yeah, it's interesting because our there's an article out on CNN that we read through and that our researcher found and pointed us through.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea came from a person named Louis Han She.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that well. But actually, as you talked about the temperature of the water, it was
Mm-hmm.
hot. In this case, like he got the idea from Japan, like serving the tea cold,
Ah, yeah.
right? So obviously, when you go to a boba place, you can order the tea cold or hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the cold part actually was discovered by this person in like the 80s after
Mm-hmm.
visiting Japan.
Oh,
And saw
nice.
it and cold, yeah. So when he brought it back to the company that he works for, because he's pretty serious about tea, one of his product managers decided just during a meeting to put like her pudding like into the drink
Oh,
with like
like what kind of?
tapioca in it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So it was almost like, okay, I'm super bored in this meeting or something. I've got this tea in front of me,
Uh-huh.
and I've got my pudding in front of me.
Okay,
Let's just see what it looks like.
let's let our listeners know it's not like pudding you think of in one of those cups, like chocolate pudding. It's
Yeah, it's not like Jello pudding. It's like a tapioca pudding, a little
yeah, it's a little
thicker,
bit more
right?
thicker and firm.
Right, 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 right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so it was yeah, she just poured it into the drink.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, everybody was trying it. It was like, oh, this is pretty good.
Mhm.
So think of like food things that you kind of accidentally mix together,
Mhm.
and you're like, okay, this is pretty good, and now it's become a thing. I think one of them is ketchup and mac and cheese
Oh,
and
yeah, I guess.
Tabasco, right?
Well,
Like stuff like that.
I was actually thinking about those cream floats where you put
Oh
like the
yeah,
ice cream in like pop or root
yeah,
beer float.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
like vanilla
whoever
ice
thought,
cream
yeah,
and
who would thought of
whoever
that? Like,
thought together, right? So
mhm.
very similar idea. You've got the drink and the tapioca balls or the
Mhm.
boba balls.
Mhm.
Mix it up, and then as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
So I think that's when it really started. Picking up steam, right? This is
Mhm.
a drink. This is something, and started selling out in Taiwan, I think.
Mhm.
And that's where, to your point earlier, probably everybody started claiming and putting their own spin on it,
Oh yeah, and
as we'll see. Yeah.
actually forgot to add in that after it got popular in Taiwan, that's when it slowly spread it to China and like Hong Kong, and then it
Oh,
started
yeah,
getting
yeah.
popular over there.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then yeah, you start thinking about that, and then you start to look at like how that's evolved into other ingredients in there, right?
Mhm.
So things like was it like grass jelly and stuff
Yeah,
that
so
you
there's like grass jelly, there's fresh taro, like almond jelly. There's so much stuff. And there's like those exploding ball things. Have you seen those, Eddie?
no, I haven't. Was
It's like
Oh yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So they actually have those in froyo places too.
Right,
Those like
right, right.
exploding little balls. Like there's mango and strawberry flavors. Not very popular, but I have seen it. So you know how in Starbucks, like how we're talking about like putting all these like different toppings, but like at Starbucks, you know how you customize your drink, like, oh, I
Yeah.
want soy milk or non-fat milk
Okay.
and
Yeah.
all that stuff, or I want less syrup and everything. Actually, like bubble tea does the same. You could get whatever toppings, like, and how sweet you want it, which is like pretty good because I know they add a lot of sugar
Sugar. Yeah.
in bubble tea. But good thing about bubble tea is like they actually try to go more natural, I would say, like
Yeah.
all the
Like all the
ingredients.
teas, right? Yeah.
So you know how I mentioned my
Mm.
love for
Boba.
boba guys
Yeah.
and their tapioca? So according to boba guys, they exclusively use loose leaf teas instead
Okay.
of powders for their drinks. And they like how I was saying, Starbucks lets you customize the milk and the level of sweetness and stuff. So they do that. And I know a lot of other places do that as well. But yeah, boba guys, like I would say they specialize in their tapioca balls and
Yeah.
they have homemade almond and grass jelly.
Homemade.
Yeah, homemade.
Wow. Okay.
So I like you don't
Okay.
know my love for boba guys.
You talked a lot. I think didn't you go on like where did
I
you go?
went
San Francisco?
San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll keep this short, but me and my friends went there, and I think there was one day we ordered boba guys like four times in
Oh
like a
my
day.
gosh.
In a day.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was so close to our hotel. So we're like, heck yeah, we're gonna get boba guys. And then we were like hooked. We even ordered boba guys for um the like the car ride to the airport. We bought it before they closed and then kept it in the fridge. And then on the way to the airport, we're like, okay, this is like super early in the morning, like 5 a.m. We're like, okay, we gotta finish our last boba, guys, because we can't bring it on the plane because like through security, you can't bring like your liquids. Then yeah, we like
So that good, right? The
yes,
boba
that
guys.
good. Even the tapioca, you know how usually tapioca doesn't last like
Yeah,
through the
it gets
night.
hard
Yeah, it
and
gets
yeah,
hard, but theirs was still like not as good as when it's fresh, obviously, but still good. Like still
yeah.
good overnight.
Okay.
So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, okay, you know how I'm like obsessed with Boba Guys tapioca balls, but when you hear the word like me calling it bubble tea, what do you think the bubbles represent?
Well, the boba, the bubbles, right?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, no. So, interesting fact, the bubbles actually represent the foamy bubbles on top of like the drink when you shake it.
Oh, really?
That's where they got it from. Yeah, like interesting.
Okay. So whenever I go and order boba, and I always ask like the kids and stuff like
Hmm.
boba or no boba,
Hmm.
or and they always then kind of laugh. Is that now when they say like no boba, it's kind of like no foam or no bubbles, right? I say, do you
Yeah.
want bubbles or no bubbles,
Hmm.
right? And so now they'll be like, it'll have a whole different meaning for me,
The
which will be
foam,
hilarious.
the foam thing actually makes sense because after I learned about that, when I got my bubble tea,
Yeah.
I see them scraping off the top where all the bubbles are like formed after they shake
Oh,
it. I was like, oh, okay, so yeah,
okay. Super
yeah.
interesting.
But
Okay, well, not
let
now I
us
know, but
know, listeners, if you actually knew that fact, because yeah, that was like
okay.
interesting.
Okay, well, we've kind of migrated from like Taiwan to North America now with like Boba Guys, but I mean, really super interesting is that it's really exploded. I think in North America,
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like even at our own neighborhoods, there's like two or three franchises, mom and pop shops,
Hmm.
whatever that might be. Like one of the interesting facts too is that it started moving to the West Coast in the 90s or so,
Hmm.
from Taiwan, right? So, but really, I mean, at the end of the day, is that with anything, it's come from communities, it's come from all those things, right? So,
Hmm.
so people brought it over from their cultures, trying it in North America cultures in the Western world, whether it's Chinese food or whatever that might
Oh
be.
yeah.
So, I don't think this is any different. It's quite interesting,
Hmm.
but really at the end of the day, it's like you start to think about, okay, well, what kind of goes into this? What exactly is the ingredient in the boba? And
Uh-huh.
for those of you who don't know, it actually comes from like the starch from the cassava root. I hope I'm
Oh.
saying that correctly. And then there's quite a process. It's actually so when it's uncooked, it's like these brown,
Yes, I've seen the
brownish.
uncooked ones at the supermarket. I'm just like, and they look so small.
Yeah, they're tiny,
Yeah,
right?
they're
And
like
they're
super
tiny,
tiny.
tiny. So I actually went out and bought some because I wanted
Oh.
to make it at home just to see
Hmm.
what it's like.
Yeah, I'm lazy. I just go buy it. Or
Okay.
I buy it fresh.
Okay. Well, after making this at home,
Hmm.
I probably will start buying Ken because
Uh,
it's a process. So you have to cook it for like 30 minutes,
oh wow.
right? And then it has to like cool for 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
But even then, like you talked about texture and chewiness
Hmm.
is important.
Yep.
I don't know even if I did it right, but when I tried it, it was good.
It was good.
It was good, but I had to like mix like brown sugar and stuff
Yeah,
to
to
get the
give
right
it a
flavor.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just use like I just use home brown sugar. I didn't
Uh-huh.
get like the syrupy stuff that you're supposed to get.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, I think there's like a special brown sugar you can get for it, but I just use like
Oh.
the one you use for baking, which I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
is wrong.
yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, the ingredients typically is that you got tea, then you got milk,
Hmm.
right? You add sugar, and then you can get it hot or cold, kind of what we talked
Uh-huh.
about before. But even then, I think the flavors have really expanded because one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorites actually is like avocado.
Yeah.
Avocado boba, right?
Hmm.
But you can get all sorts of fruits, like fresh fruit, like whatever, honeydew, mango. I think,
Hmm.
like there's probably seasonal fruits too
Oh
from
yeah, for
boba
sure.
guys, right? Like
Hmm.
it's so um I don't know if it specializes the word, but it's pretty like an art form, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's these ingredients, you get seasonal
Oh yeah,
ingredients.
you know what? I like talking about fruits and stuff, but I've seen like Oreo, like bubble
Oh
tea before.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oreo. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of like the chocolatey ones, but
Mm-hmm.
you can also get like um chocolate boba. So think of it this way: it's like chocolate milk with boba in it.
Yeah,
Maybe a bit lighter than chocolate milk.
because it's with a
Yeah,
lot of ice,
it
right? So
does. It comes
I,
with a
I
lot of
guess it's
ice.
like a slushy chocolate chocolate
Yeah.
milk.
Okay, so now you're talking about like Oreos, slushy chocolate
Mm-hmm.
milk.
Yeah.
You know, how about like the health factor? What do you think?
Oh, oh
Is it
man, like
healthy for you? I don't know.
no. Okay.
Okay.
So obviously, so how I was saying earlier that you could like
Yeah.
customize your drink because like bubble or bubble tea has a lot of sugar and they're like some of the if they don't use fresh fruit then or fresh ingredients then obviously there's artificial flavor so that's like
Mm.
including all the syrups and stuff and you know how I was saying I was obsessed with boba guys
4 or 5
tapioca
times a day. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I found out per tapioca ball is around 5 to 14 calories each.
Okay.
So imagine
Each.
each, not
Each.
not
Okay.
like the full thing. So say each time you get it, like say there's you think 30 or 40 balls.
Yeah. Probably.
So maybe obviously over 100 plus calories right there, not including the liquid and everything.
Yeah.
So a nom tip would be adjust your sweetness level
Right.
and what toppings you get. Like even though
Right.
if you like tapioca, maybe say less or something. But I don't know. I think this is a treat yourself moment. Like I wouldn't recommend drinking bubble tea like I did like 5 4 times a day. That was
Yeah.
a special occasion. Okay. Like
Yeah.
we don't have boba guys in
Yeah.
Canada. So
Right.
that was like a one off. But I don't know, maybe have it once or twice a week. Like
Right.
it's not an everyday thing. Well, you
Right.
can kind of say the same with Starbucks. If you just get black coffee, that's fine. But if you're getting like the specialized drinks, then like calorie wise, it's gonna
Yeah.
add up quick.
Like lattes every morning or something.
Yeah, so I
Right.
would say
Yeah.
this is a treat yourself
Okay.
or
All right.
little meal.
Well, it's definitely treat yourself, but yeah, you're right. It's like when I go to a lot of the shops now, I usually
hmm
get no sugar
hmm
in it, and to me, it's just as good. Like
Oh yeah.
it's just like it's like a bit of an adjustment in taste because growing up, like when I have it sweet, but now as an
hmm
adult, less
I
sweet
think
is actually good.
yeah, but I think when it first came to North America, there wasn't that option to adjust like the sugar
Yeah,
level or
probably just
anything.
is right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
nowadays it's you could choose whatever you want.
Yeah. And then like here's a nom tip too is when you're checking out the menu, there's typically the fresh fruit side.
Mhm.
And then you talked about the powder side earlier, right?
Mhm.
So my recommendation is go fresh fruit.
Mhm.
I always go fresh fruit because for me it tastes better.
Yeah.
Like taro is a good example. So the way you can tell is if it's the powder stuff, it's really purple,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But when it's the fresh, it's like almost white
Mhm.
with like just a touch of purple.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, that's just kind of a thing when you are going to shops and you want to try it for the first time or whatever. Just watch for the two sides of the menu almost.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Um,
I know this is an episode about bubble tea slash boba. There's obviously we had to order our own
yes.
boba or yeah, bubble tea for this episode.
So
So,
who did we use? Mine is very blurred out.
so I ordered from Coco's. All
Me
right.
too.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
what? 5 calorie, 5 calorie, 5 calorie,
five
five
to
calories. I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
it's like
Okay.
5 to 14. See, I don't have tapioca.
Oh, right, because you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you know why? It's
yeah.
not Boba Guys. Please, Boba Guys, sponsor this. Like, sponsor us,
You know,
because I obviously love you guys. But
yeah, we'll buy your boba too.
yeah,
Like, but just ship to Canada a little bit more reasonably,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So-
Okay, so what did you
okay,
order, Eddie?
I got my favorite, which is, or sorry, one of my favorites, which is
hmm
the avocado.
Nice.
So
Fresh
the
fruit.
avocado fresh fruit smoothie
Mm-hmm.
with boba with the
Boba.
pearls, yeah, or
Did you
tapioca.
adjust the sweetness for that one or?
No, this one I got as is. So
Okay.
I always get as is for avocado.
Oh, it's a
This
it's a treat
so
yourself day.
Okay, so this is a treat myself day, but also my parents. Actually, I've never told you this before.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, my parents would make avocado smoothies at home, like
Oh,
from fresh
okay.
avocados. So
Mm-hmm.
scoop it out of the avocado, put it in
Yeah.
a blender. They add milk and add sugar. So the reason I always keep this as is because it does remind me of
Oh,
that.
that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
this is like my top three, I would say.
okay. Okay. I know you said your parents add sugar to it, but have you tried adding condensed milk to it instead?
Ooh, I add
Because
condensed milk to my coffee,
yes, yes, like
but
Vietnamese
not,
coffee.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so my parents used to make avocado smoothies as well. So they would add in fresh avocado,
Okay,
milk, but put condensed milk
instead of
instead of
sugar.
sugar. And it was so good. So
Okay,
bad, but so
nice.
good.
All
Okay,
right,
so
what'd you
with
get?
mine, okay, so I got fresh taro milk tea. So this is like the fresh taro. But then you
Right.
see how I customize mine. I don't know if it's like backward. Yeah, it's backwards. But I order with
Okay.
zero sugar and no ice. So
Okay.
it doesn't dilute the milk tea.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And I find the taro is sweet enough that I don't need sugar in my milk tea.
Right.
So yeah, this is my favorite to get at
Cocoa.
Coco's. I think at every bubble tea place there is like, your favorite drink
Right.
to get, but
Yeah. There's the go-to, right? It's like
mhm,
it's so hard because once you find your go-to, when you go back,
mhm.
you always want to try something else, just like restaurants or menus, right?
Yes, but
It sticks
then
it.
nom tip is like where I always tell you that you should just try something new at bubble tea
Yeah,
places because I know
that's
you're
true.
bad for always going for the same
Yeah,
one. But I don't know. I think it's worthwhile going out there and trying something else new,
that's true.
right? So,
Yeah. All right. Should we dig
ooh,
in?
hold
Oh, wait.
on. I want to show you guys something. So I got a metal
Oh,
straw. Get
Boba Guys
Boba
metal straw.
guys. Yeah.
Oh man,
I got it when I was at the stores. But yeah, it's like nice and sharp
reusable.
on the side. So, I, I
Nice.
I know bubble tea places now are trying to use the
Yeah.
like the wood or the
Reusable. Yeah, like
not the
the
reusable, but the it's kind of made out of cardboard or something like that or bamboo.
compostable ones. The
Yeah.
yeah,
So
this
don't like I understand why they're going that route,
right.
obviously, but I don't know. I feel like I have to drink my bubble tea way faster.
Fast. Yeah, because it
Mhm.
just gets this weird like yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, well, I was not as eco-conscious as you today because I have my plastic one,
It's
which
okay.
I'm a little bit ashamed of. But I do have one, just
Mhm.
like yours, but from the alley. It's a full
Ah.
kit actually.
Oh,
I should have
really?
brought it out. Yeah, it's like a full kit with like a bag and everything.
Oh,
And there's the boba
nice.
straw. There's the regular straw for just the tea, and there's the
Ah.
straw cleaner too.
Ooh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, this
so
came with a
yeah,
straw cleaner as well. Because it's like it's
okay,
such a big size.
it is right. So you
So
gotta clean it. So all right, happy virtual boba
the boba.
recording
Yeah.
since we can't see each other in person.
Yes.
Oh, we got it. There is also a stab technique, right, on these
Really?
that we've got to. Yeah, like if
What's
you
that
don't
technique?
stab it properly, the straw in gets
Oh,
like everywhere.
yeah.
So
Or if it's not sealed
not
properly
sealed
and it
properly.
explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take.
All right. So I'm having a drink too.
Mmm. So good.
Oh, very good. So as we're eating or drinking, I think this about does it for this episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our listeners and viewers, let us know like what's your favorite bubble tea or boba to get, and what do you call it? Do you call it bubble
Yeah.
tea, boba? Because I never heard of boba until you started saying boba. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really did because I think you said it's like when you were in LA, that's what they
Yeah.
called boba.
We just always called it boba,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
So yeah. So let us know, guys.
all right. Don't
Okay.
forget to subscribe, like, and follow us.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.